All right, so I'll do a little recappy, and then we'll jump in, and we're going to get right to it. All right, as we come back to the Ashen Crown, we stand at a precipice. A storm is almost upon the party, and Virex Ashman has started his own firestorm aboard the ship. The party started off the day yawning and coming back with nightmares and different clues about the Scorchborn aboard the ship, but they started off first with a breakfast and a laugh. Mateas, the quartermaster, was happy to have Sal suggest the party could tackle the supposed rat problem down in the cargo hold, while the party ultimately split up to seek out more clues in the galley's storage room. Luckily, the group has speaker orbs, which let them communicate telepathically over any distance. Never split the party, but having magical walkie-talkies does help. Svetlana discovered the same bear that Maz woke outside of Skyland, and Toko jumped in to try to protect her from a swipe. As Toko, Svetlana, and Bogha explored the cargo hold, Sal, Hilo, and Yriel explored the galley and made their way into the storage room. Sal stumbled upon a jagged knife, while Yriel distracted the chef with talks of potatoes and magic allegedly from Hilo. Sal saw a figure completely covered in dark clothing greet them and make his way up the stairs and decided to follow. Hilo and Yriel were a beat behind. Meanwhile, Toko, Svetlana, and Bogha continued to explore the cargo hold. They stumbled upon another room with 2 beds and a stack of books. Svetlana found one that belonged to Virex Ashman. She opened up to the last page and found a passage stating that he may be discovered. My faith is true. I will forever be Scorchborn, and I will bring the light of Kor. With the discovery of another Scorchborn symbol under the bed, fire suddenly erupted from it as Svetlana approached. The 3 of them left the room to go meet up with the rest of the party as the fire under the bed subsided. And then everyone followed Sal up to the top of the ship to find Virex looking out over the ocean. As the storm approached the ship, with the sky darkening and the clouds overhead, smoke began to emerge from Virex's body. Svetlana, with the light of Kor in her heart, charged at Virex and swung her axe. She only narrowly hit Virex's shoulder and started to see light and smoke emerge from his body. His veins turned red hot with Kor's fire, and his skin turned ashen and hot. His eyes went black before lighting up as red-hot embers, and he turned to the group to tell them that now you see it. The gift you gave me, Svetlana. Virex Ashman, killed and then revived by Svetlana, has returned and is ready to spread the light and fire of Kor everywhere, as Svetlana had asked. 7 creatures built a flame emerged from the deck simultaneously, with clawed hands turning towards the party. So we have a giant whirlwind of flame emerging in the center of the deck, bigger than anything else. We have 5 fiery wraiths emerging around the sides. You have one wraith, slightly darker than the others, emerging towards the other side of the ship, kind of looking over all the rest, seeming to play a slightly different role. And Virex Ashman himself, standing, looking over all of them, proud. Virex turns towards Svetlana, and smoke emerges from his body. The smoke begins to turn into arms, 3 on either side of him. He looks over towards her, and his eyes burn with that twisted light of Kor, and he says, I thank you for this gift you gave me. Let me show you the path of light. And Virex's arms, or smoke arms, swing at Svetlana, smacking into her and knocking her ever so slightly back on the deck. At the same time, Virex then turns to a sailor currently standing on the deck, stares at him. He raises one arm, and a spear of flame shoots out of his hand, hitting the sailor directly in the chest. He screams, stops, looks downward, and you see his feet begin to smoke. His skin began to turn to ash, and then slowly, as though burning from the inside out, his entire body begins to turn blackened until his eyes burn out and poof away with smoke. The giant fire wraith standing just on the other side of him, the big whirlwind of fire, you see that thing. There's no discernible head or anything. It's just flames with arms attached to it. Turns towards another sailor on the deck. Person standing aghast, just shocked at what's emerging in front of him. The giant flame tornado, I'll call it, turns, and you see the flame open up its hand. So it's like an open palm, and it shoves it right at this person's chest. and it goes immediately through the person's body, and you see a mirror image of flame pop out of the body on the other side of him. And then both of them are frozen in space with a expression of fear and screaming, and that person no longer can move. Then I'm just going to go ahead and I got like so much fear right now. So,
can I add one flavor text?
Please.
Svetlana, as this is happening, takes her axe out of its sheath on her back and she holds it to her chest. You see a little glow of light, and she prays to Kor for guidance in this battle. And she rolls her prayer dice for a 4, a 2, and a 2. So
and take that's great. Take advantage on your first hit, your first attack when you go to do it. As though Svetlana might attack something. I don't know. Like maybe you'll just stand by the sidelines praying. But
yeah.
And you see one of the flame wraiths of a slightly darker color than the other ones puts both of its hands together in front of it in sort of like a prayer posture. And then you see it then shoot pretty much like a Goku Kamehameha style for those Dragon Ball Z fans out there over towards Virex Ashman, and then suddenly there is a kind of wall of smoke surrounding Virex Ashman, seeming to shield him a little bit from those things that rather are around them. And then at the same time, again, got lots of fear here, baby. You got all three of these wraiths, or three of the wraiths, sorry. They turn towards just the closest person to them, who happens to be good old Sal, emerge upon him. And then instead of actually hitting him, they all actually just literally open up their arms and actually just reach out to go wrap their flaming hot arms right around Sal. And we will hope and see, because Sally's pretty adept. Oh, man. What's your evasion?
14.
Meets it, beats it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. They successfully, Sal tries to dodge out, but they was kind of taken back and surprised by the three of them coming after him right away. And they wrap their arms successfully around Sal, squeezing him, burning the outside edges of his clothing, his arms, causing significant pain. And you take 15 damage.
Okay.
What is your threshold?
14's my severe threshold. So
as I'm praying to Kor, you see a little spark of light come across from my axe to Sal, and 2 of that damage is taken. It's like it pulls back his arms just slightly so that he doesn't squeeze quite as hard. So that should reduce it to major, right?
Correct. And then I'll use an armor slot. Sal sees these creatures coming to him and attempts to dodge out of the way. He's like, whoa, hot! What the heck? And kind of like tries to spin and move, but he's just not quite fast enough because there were so many and they were so close. And they still managed to get a piece of his armor, which would reduce down to 1 HP for me.
And as this happens, Virex looks over and just says, "Oh, friend, you should just embrace Kor's light as I have." And the play goes back to the players.
Sal is going to, first of all, feel... Am I grappled or anything, by the way? Or is this just was that just
just for flavor.
Okay, got it. Okay. Sal is going to look around the ship and notice all of the hiding places. And he's at first feeling a little bit discouraged by immediately getting attacked. But he's going to look around and see all of the different places that he could hide. And he starts formulating plans in his mind for places he can go. And he is going to use Rogue's Hope. I'm going to spend 3 hope and immediately increase my invasion by 2 more. Sorry, evasion, not invasion, to be clear. So he is going to going to raise his evasion and then look around to see what everybody else is doing.
Svetlana pulls her axe away from her body and says, "You will not take the light of Kor in vain," and throws it at Virex, attempting to hit him with the now glowing axe. So that's an 8 and a 9 with hope. So that's 17.
Take a hope.
Plus 6, right? Because I have advantage.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely hit.
And also you have to add your what, strength too. So don't forget that when you attack.
Yes. Yeah. So I hit. So I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna mark a stress to hit an additional target. So I'm gonna roll my natural calm ability D6, and I got a 6, so I don't mark a stress.
Nice.
So I will roll for damage. Which is, so sorry. 2d8 plus 4. Make sure I have the correct die. Okay. So that's a 4 and a 7. So that's 11 plus 4. So 15 magic damage. Oh, do I add the plus 3 to that too? I think I do, since it's within melee range. So what did I say it was before? 15. So now it's 18 damage.
18?
Yeah, so I'll hit him, Virex, and then it'll swing around to the right and kind of whip through the swirling cloud or the swirling fire with arms and return to me.
Got it. So the axe goes through and lands right solidly on Virex, but what you notice as it gets closer is that it has to penetrate that smoke cloud that is currently surrounding him, and so it nicks his side, but you clearly see, you're like, ooh, that barely did a thing, and he doesn't actually flinch. He has zero fear of this thing right now. Then I continue swinging by towards the, Fire Wraith, which is just more of just like a beast than anything else, and that one solidly lands right through the center of this thing. You just see almost like a chunk of fire just kind of like whoosh, and then like it gets like a little bit shorter. So it's almost like you're chopping down like a tree and you went right through the middle. And the creature doesn't have like a mouth or anything like that. So you can't, it doesn't really actually make any sounds. You just kind of hear the susurrations of the flames like spinning around, right? And this thing definitely, sorry, you said it was 18?
Yes.
Definitely is hurt. That thing took, you literally took a chunk out of it. Literally. Chunk of flames, gone.
So she jumps up to grab her axe as it returns, and as she lands, she kind of smacks it into the floor, and it divots into the floor a little bit. So she is kind of kneeling, holding her axe on the floor. She looks to Yriel.
To Yriel, just to describe it a little bit, Yriel is near the railing on the deck, and there are 2 rivets between her and a whole lot of enemies that attacked the rivet in front, Sal. And approximately how tall are rivets?
Sal is pretty short. He's he was always kind of the on the smaller end of the rivets that he knew. I mean, there might be some competition with Bogha. I don't know how tall Bogha is, but I am picturing something like. Let me quick pull out my phone so I can make sure this makes sense to everybody. I've been picturing Sal being like 3 feet, so less than a meter tall. Pretty short.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yriel.
Bogha's about the same size.
Same. Okay. Yriel's not much taller, but it's enough that she can see over their heads, and she grabs her whip from her hip and lashes the whip just past the heads of the rivets in front of her, aiming at those... What are they?
Call him, you can call him, how about Sparks? Call him Sparks, keep it simple.
Fire the sparks that are surrounding Sal. So I'm attacking the one that's closest to us, directly in front of Sal.
So I'll assume you're closing that gap a little bit, because like if I was going to use the map, you're maybe not quite very close, but like I'd assume you're getting a little closer to, get him as it is.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say let's get that roll.
Okay. So hold on. There's something else. Strategic approach. So, after a long rest, place a number of tokens equal to your knowledge on this card. The first time you move within close range of an adversary and make an attack against them, you can spend 1 token to choose one of the following. Attack with advantage.
Okay.
Okay. So, that is 12. Hold on.
God, please roll a d6. Please roll a d6. Please roll a d6.
Okay, so that's presence. That's +2, so that's 14. And then the d6 is another 4. This is going to be 18 with hope.
Tell me how much it hurts.
What?
Like
how much it hurts?
Roll for damage.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it hurts them,
saying
not you.
that.
Okay, right. That is 2.
I need to make up some lines. Like I need some good
Okay.
lines, and I don't have any yet.
No, that was a good one.
Apparently, my line is everyone around you marks a stress.
That is your line now.
I
Yes.
love it. Okay, speaking of marking a stress, so I rolled 7 damage and mark a stress to crack the whip and force all adversaries within melee range back to close range.
Okay, so you're knocking them back a little bit, and how much damage again?
7.
7. Okay.
Trying to give a little breathing room to Sal, maybe literally not consumed by flames.
So you, as you do so, these flame creatures built a flame in front of you. You are absolutely astounded by the fact that like they, first they get knocked back. The one you hit directly immediately just goes poof and just like literally disappears. Pretty much exactly as though it was almost, never there. And then as you see the one get knocked back, same exact thing, poof, it's gone just as quickly as it was there. And you somehow were able to knock out 2. It's like the whip just kind of like broke apart the flame and the magic holding them together. And then they are gone.
Okay. I think that's Yriel's move for the moment.
And that was with hope, correct?
It was. Yes.
Yes.
Who else has got something? I got an idea, but I want to see what everybody else can cook up.
Literally.
Yeah. Wait.
Roast hot
Toko-
dogs over the fire.
Toko looks around and like seeing the fire, you see him kind of like have a moment of clarity, like he just looks like he had an idea. And he runs off to out of sight from you all for a moment. You don't really see him for a bit there. And that's kind of the move. He runs off for a minute.
In the middle of the battle.
To do an agility roll.
Sounds like
to
Toko's
get far
coming
enough
to. Oh.
I mean, he wasn't in the thick of battle, I would say. I mean, in my mind, at least. I mean,
Yep.
I would certainly, if he just wants to run off, I mean, I'm cool letting him run off. He abandoned all of you. I just want you to know that.
We trust you.
This isn't the first time Toko's disappeared.
This is the first time it didn't involve.
Yriel will remember that.
This is the first time it didn't involve Canadian Thanksgiving, though. So
Well, this is true. This is true.
Bogha, you were about to say something when I started cracking a joke. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Bogha's gonna look around and see that Yriel clearly has the fire fellas in front of us kind of handled with her like deft whip actions. So Bogha's gonna run over to near the resurrected cultist. I cannot remember his name.
Virex.
Virex. Terrible T-Rex. Cool. It's gonna run over to near Virex Ashman and try restrain him using Shadowbind. But I'm gonna also, in that role, take into account the elemental origin by spending a hope and adding a +2 to the roll.
Ooh.
So with the Shadowbind... Ooh. 3... That's an 18 with hope. An 18 with hope.
So you moved close to Virex to close the gap because it's like a very close maneuver, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and you said 18 with hope?
Yeah.
All right, make sure you take a hope. And he is... what do the shadow binds look like?
It's... so the shadows kind of form into a slight mist as they reach up and grab Virex's ligaments, just raising up from behind him in a like smoky cloud. And Bogha's just kind of scrunching her face, and she's got her tongue. She's biting on her tongue in concentration. It's
Okay.
like, you are not moving today.
I like it.
That's it.
And so Virex then, sees this, and you see him acknowledge it, and he looks down. He says, so this is the best you can do, huh? And then looks back up, and again, he's restrained, but seems completely unconcerned. And that was with hope, so make sure you take hope.
Well, I used to hope to to
okay. Yeah.
enhance it. So, yeah. There you go.
So, is he being held like inside of his smoke circle? Is he like being held to the ground, or are you holding him to you? Like, I guess I'm just not sure.
He's being held by shadow. Pretty much.
Okay.
Like it's a shadowy mist type thing.
Okay. Svetlana's axe is charring the wood in the boat as it had went through that ring of fire. It was burning hot, and so when it landed on the wood, it just started scorching the wood a little bit, and she's currently trying to get it out. She will successfully get it out. It just might take her a second.
Mm-hmm.
Svetlana, friend, hit him.
Where is the nearest?
She looks at Hilo.
Where is the nearest shadow to Sal? Like if Sal wanted to duck into a shadow, where would the nearest shadow be? I mean, obviously he could just duck behind Svetlana because Svetlana's huge, but
I would say that's actually your best bet. It's like daytime. So there's your daytime on the top of a ship. I mean, there's not like a lot of Sal-sized shadows, I would say right now, other than probably behind like some of the people.
okay.
And
that certainly would
Svetlana is knelt down trying to retrieve her axe.
Yeah.
So Sal is going to turn and run, and he is basically just going to kind of get like a little slide going, and he is going to slide into the shadow cast by Svetlana.
Mm-hmm.
And I can leave space there for other players. I also have something else I can do if people don't have anything they want to do at the moment.
Hilo's kind of frowning at what he just saw happen because I think it actually nullified what I was going to do.
Wait, I did?
No. Bogha restraining him and sticking him to the deck, I think actually makes me need to change my plan. So feel free to go ahead while I come up with an alternative.
As Sal is sliding behind Svetlana, if you're listening really closely, you would hear him muttering to himself. He is basically the only word that you really hear is the word night. Everything else is very soft and mumbly. And Sal would like to cast Veil of Night in the line. So we have basically 2 of the regular sparks, that one enhanced spark, and the whirlwind of fire. And it is going to be a line of darkness in that area.
So which one? What are you casting again? What's it called?
Veil of Night. I can read it to you. Make a spellcast roll. On a success, you can create a temporary curtain of darkness between 2 points within far range.
Got it. Yeah, make a roll.
Okay. I am going to roll for that, and I'm going to super hope that this goes well. Well, horrible time, but that's a 7 and 7, aka a crit.
Oh, nice.
And not the drink.
Hey, there you go. Take a hope, clear stress. And I guess there's no damage attached, unfortunately.
There's not.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, you, I'll place that little thingy for reference wherever you want, buddy. You give me the,
Yeah. So like I said, Sal is looking at the whirlwind, the enhanced spark, and the 2 regular spark. You can just put in a straight line between them. I'm not super pressed by what it looks like in Roll20.
Like something like that?
Yeah, it's fine.
So, okay, so there's a darkness between, basically separating these guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a shroud of darkness separating the giant tornado-like whirlwind of fire wraith between 2 of the lesser sparks, and then the greater spark and another lesser spark, essentially dividing right on the deck.
Okay.
Does that
go ahead.
Darkness prevent us from seeing the ones on the other side of that darkness?
Except for Sal.
It does, but if you give me a moment, I have an idea. So
I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to clarify for story purposes.
Yeah. If everybody's fine with me going a little bit more, I don't want to dominate. I had a thought. We good with that? Okay. So Sal is, as he's sliding, he casts this, and as soon as he hits the spot behind Svetlana, gone. He disappears. Sal is going to shadow step to the darkness that he just created while he was sliding.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as he is in the darkness, he is going to jump into the air and cast Rain of Blades.
Oh, baby.
Why does everyone keep disappearing during this fight? I'm not very thrilled with this.
This would have been the perfect crit. I mean, the other crit was bad timing.
I mean, I wish I could have given you more. I mean, I guess I could. I don't even know.
I'm sorry to do this. That is with fear, but that is 17.
17?
17 with fear.
Oh, baby. So it hurts. It hurts a lot. So tell me what the rest of that looks like, because you're knocking out both these guys.
Okay. My intention was to get in the center so I could hit all 4 of these guys, to be clear.
Oh, all 4 of these guys.
Yes.
Okay, so you're definitely not knocking out all 4 of these guys.
Okay.
So, the hit was 17, or was the damage?
Yeah, that was just hit. I haven't done any damage. I haven't rolled for damage yet.
I would say that the greater wraith is probably not close enough, but the fire wraith is.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't want to undermine the player, but I would say that the greater one's a little bit further off. But so you cleanly swipe right through these guys, and
is there
wraith, though, definitely takes damage.
Before we do that, is there a place? Because my intention was to make a line down the center of these. Is there a place where I could get the fire tornado and the greater wraith?
I would say so. The map is a reference. I know we're doing some measuring things.
Yeah.
The intent would be, and maybe I should clarify that. So how about this? Let's hit all 4 for now, and then I'll try to clarify a little bit more in the for the next one. But that's fine.
I don't want to override GM things. So if you would like to say that I attempted to hit and one of them was too far, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know my intentions were to get in a spot where I was within very close range of all of them.
And we haven't actually gotten to the damage part, right?
No, we have not done damage.
No,
but I assume that.
You just did a hit. Sorry.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah, I was. Yeah, trying to clarify that.
Got it. You definitely hit. That would definitely hit all of them for sure for 17. Let me say then. I will say then for the Cult Adept. Actually, I like that. You attempted to hit, but he was a little bit too far off. I'll kind of drag him down to clarify that maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
Sorry, the greater spark.
Okay. I need to grab a lot of dice.
Yeah.
Because the fun part about Sal is he's currently cloaked, which means he gets to
roll everything.
He gets to use sneak attack. So let me find some dice around the house because we're gonna
imagine not having your dice ready in session, whatever we are.
I know.
What do you need?
I got it.
Embarrassing.
I got dice.
It's
everywhere.
embarrassing.
I got dice everywhere.
He's just running from room to room, picking up dice to add to his roll.
We'll play some chase music during this part while he's chasing down all the dice. It's going to take that long to roll. We're going to need a little side shuffle.
My sneak attack, 2d6.
Yeah,
both of them were 6s.
Nice.
So that is a 22. That's 22 damage to each creature that I hit.
Yeah, no, so clearly you just tell me, damage is done for two of our lesser sparks. You are wiping them clean out. You said 22?
22, correct.
So 22, you essentially swing around. Your sword is hitting the giant, fire wraith, once again. And you just see chunks of it, like taken out of it. Once again, sorry, you said 22?
22.
Yeah. So you definitely take a chunk out of it. But what you notice is that these your swords don't seem to knock out quite as much of the flame.
Just to be clear, this is not swords. This is magic damage. This is a rain of blades that fire from.
Oh, I'll say then in that case you knock out more.
Magical blades.
So this thing has now been knocked down, let's say, much more to size. Suddenly you're like, this guy ain't so big anymore. You're like looking at him like, all right, might be able to take this on. And, but still up and moving, the giant vornado kind of fire wraith. And then tell me what you would like how do those elemental sparks go?
Yeah, so you guys, everybody else can't see in or out of, basically, it is just darkness in the center of this area. And basically all you see, actually no one on the map from the looks of it could see them because the players can't see through this. So one last piece that I wanted to add, if this is okay with the GM, is I would like to shadow step once more and then drop the Veil of Night and not be there.
Yeah, you just got to mark another stress, right?
Yeah, so I'll mark another stress. Sal is going to jump into essentially the shadow of the... So there's this, up the stairs right here, there is a kind of like the room with the helm. And my assumption is with how small Sal is, he would be able to hide in the shadows unless the sun is directly overhead, I guess. And
no. So, I mean, there'd be certainly, you're saying like kind of right up on the next deck up. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then the Veil of Night would drop. And so as soon as the darkness drops, the two sparks that were there are, I don't know if they fall to the ground or if they disappear, but basically in an instant, it is, they disappear from sight. And then Sal does his thing and he moves out of the way and they're gone.
Poof. Oh, baby. Oh, they're gone. They're gone. All right. They're very gone. And suddenly you, I feel like everyone would, because that was with fear, correct?
That was with fear, correct.
That was with fear. Yeah. Okay. So you see Virex himself, sort of, look around, somewhat, concerned, not not horribly so. Sees these lesser sparks being knocked out, but they're also lesser sparks. Everyone's got to have the folks on the the front lines, and you see him begin to grapple with the restraints that he is currently in, and you see him going to go attempt to rip out of the restraints, and you see him pull, and he is unsuccessful originally, ripping his arms upward. Kind of looks down, and you feel like seeing him that he's just like, oh no, I actually need to try a little bit. And then he rips his arms up, and then successfully gets up, fully unrestrained now, and then turns towards
the restraint. Yeah.
Who that was Bogha who just did that, correct? The restraint, yeah. And you see Virex just like turn very calmly and goes, "So you want to play, little froggy?" And then you see from behind him the smoke that is surrounding him forms again into these gigantic arms, and you see them all just start to reach over towards Bogha, going to bonk him essentially, or punch him, roughly speaking. And Bogha though definitely dodges out.
Sorry, before that. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, as that is all happening, you start hearing like a sloshing sound, like very faint at first, but then it gets stronger and stronger as you see Toko emerging again with a very big bucket full of water, and he tosses the water at these guys over here, on the right.
You're throwing that water like a ways across the ship, right? Is that what we're going? Because I just want to make sure, because we're all looking at a map. There's a little distance there. You're like kind of chucking it through the air.
There's a little distance there,
and trying to land it on top of them.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to roll for that's a good roll.
Sure, yeah. What are we rolling? Yeah.
Are you throwing the bucket, or are you tossing the water out of the bucket?
Yeah,
I'm tossing the water.
Okay, just clarify.
Why not both?
Yeah.
What about?
Because if they touche, I could throw the bucket. Let's throw the bucket, okay? Because I like the idea of hitting them with the bucket. Let's do that. Let's toss the bucket in the water. Let's go. What do I have to roll, GM?
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm thinking agility. I'm like, it doesn't fit cleanly into any, but you got +2 on agility. Let's give you a good shot, because that's just
agility. Fun. Oh boy, let's go. Let's see what agility gives me. And we get a 23 with fear.
With fear?
Yep.
So what does this look like, friend? How does it connect? What do you think?
So I have this bucket on like full of water with a rope attached to it, right? Because I had to go get water from the ocean outside. And so like you see Toko like coming out with like holding the rope still, and he looks around. And he like gets angry at the guys on the right, so he starts like swinging the rope around with the bucket swinging, and then he lets it go as it's pointing at the two guys on the other end of the ship. It gains a bit of momentum from the swinging and just whizzes past everything.
The bucket and water connect, and actually as the bucket just actually literally lands on this thing's like, the best thing you'd call it is a head, because it's like a flamey thingy, it's moving around just like and then you see the water pour out over top of it like, and then suddenly it just turns to steam and disappears.
Does the water go past and hit the greater? I'm sorry, what I keep forgetting what things are called, but the
greater spark.
Greater spark. Okay.
Yeah. You see it, but this one's definitely made of more sturdy stuff. This one is, let's say, a deeper, redder, less corporeal, see-through kind of like flame. Like this one certainly seems to carry a little bit more weight, even though obviously flames don't really weigh anything. And that one was with fear?
Yes.
Yeah. So right in front of Virex, you see the now freed from what had held him down previously, and looking at Bogha once again as the last one who had tried to hold him down, which he certainly does not appreciate. And you see the again cloud around him form into arms, turns around, and this time seeing how Bogha had dodged out of it before, instead takes all of these things, and you actually saw about 4 to 6 of them before. Now there's more like 6 to 8 of them, and so he's more ready to actually get for these dodges, and kind of like doom 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 pummels at the ground, going after Bogha with some of these punches. And you definitely it hits, because what's your evasion, Bogha?
It is an 11.
It's an 11, yeah. So these things connect for sure.
Am I within very close range of Bogha, Yriel and Bogha?
It can be. What do you want to do?
Once per rest, mark a stress to force an adversary to reroll an attack against you or an ally within very close range.
Let's do it. And then I guess Yriel, I mean, is there anything you're doing to help Bogha out to try to dodge this hit?
This is more like I'm just flailing about trying to throw Virex off. Yes, exactly. Throw Virex off just enough that he has to sort of refocus and try again to hit Bogha. I don't have.
No, that's perfect.
Wacky arm flailing.
Yeah, more wacky arm flailing. Like, wait a second, I can't not look at that. In which case, Virex then misses just narrowly. The last fist, smoke fist, kind of go down. Bogha narrowly dodges, but then Virex turns towards Yriel. It's like, oh, you'd like to get in this too, huh? And holds up his hand, basically like palm outstretched, and you see a spear of flame shoot towards his palm, directly towards Yriel. And oh baby, that hits. Unless there's something else we got, be Nate. Yeah.
Is there any way Bogha can help Yriel out?
You tell me.
I was going to say that because I'm in the middle of them two, I could also be a shield.
Because Bogha's in such close range, I was wondering if she could shove her body into Virex. Just try and like body slam him with the whole 3 feet of her.
I mean, you certainly can. I mean, you want to try that, or do you want to let Svetlana try to jump in?
I would love to try that.
Okay.
What's your attack roll, first of all?
My attack roll is 18.
Heck.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on.
Actually, sorry, it's actually a 21. No, it's a 22. I lied.
Stop making it worse.
I mean, as Bogha's doing that, I think I would be like grabbing my axe out of the ground and putting my shield up, kind of anticipating his hand pointing towards Yriel. So whether or not, it actually hits my shield or not will be dependent upon what Bogha does.
So I just want to see. So Bogha, you want to try to kind of shove Virex to miss, and Svetlana at the same time you're trying to
dodging. Yeah.
More like what?
In my wild dodging.
So like, are you trying to get in the way of the shot, or you're trying to throw off the shot? I just want to make sure I got it.
No, I'm trying to hit him in the sternum with my head.
So you just want to go up and like hit him to see if that like throws him off.
Little Ribbit doing a hop.
Doing a mighty hop. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and we'll make that a reaction roll. So reaction roll means you're going to roll your 2d12s. You don't take hope or fear. It doesn't do anything like that. It just means that essentially, because we're in the middle of a battle and every second kind of like counts, it's like a split second kind of like thing that's going to happen. And I would say I'm open to a couple different options for what role it would be. I don't know that any are going to help you because I'm like, agility is 0, strength is 0. At least they're not negatives because I feel like those make the most sense if you're trying to hit them or you're trying to get in the way. Like, I feel like those fit, but I'm open to another one if you've got ideas.
I think if it was going to be anyone, it would be probably agility.
Okay.
But 0, isn't it? I rolled a 13, by the way.
So you leap up in an attempt to hit Virex, and unfortunately you fall just short of actually connecting as he sort of steps slightly back, really just like 1 foot, right? Almost like just kind of like deftly kind of like dodges. Because that did not quite hit it. And Svetlana, at the same time, you were trying to...
Yeah, I pulled my axe up out of the floor and held my shield up, kind of trying to get in the way between Yriel and Virex.
So are you using
since I'm in
your
between?
Shield?
Yes.
Okay. So you're marking a stress, yes. And then that very much is going to hit, and we are going to do... Oh God, I need extra dice. Like, I don't have enough.
No.
Like, there's this one, like, it requires more. And I mean, like, this is the first time that's happened. I'm so excited. Oh, that. Ooh. Are you sure you want to hear this?
Yes.
It's bad.
Give it to me.
33.
33. Okay, so that's definitely my severe damage threshold.
Yeah.
But since I'm using the I'm Your Shield ability, I could use multiple armor slots.
Yep.
I'm going to choose to go ahead and do 2 armor slots and 1 HP.
Okay. And then as this spear of flame, right, it hits your shield, but then it still connects with like the side of your body, and you actually take, like a solid hit, marking that 1 HP. But then as the flame nicks your side, suddenly you feel somewhat, weaker. And then what you notice is that as you start to emerge and, get back up from this hit, that suddenly that light emerges from Svetlana's body, and she is essentially lit up, where she is now the brightest thing on the ship, and even easier to attack. And I'll just like spend 1 more fear, and my giant fire wraithy friend over here just goes right up towards Bogha, who's going to be the closest one. Although that giant, fire wraith has been, knocked down a few pegs, but goes ahead, and you see the wraith reach out its hand, right? And instead of actually going for like a hit or like a punch, it just gently sort of first places its hand on Bogha's face. You feel the warmth. You're not getting burnt just yet. And then your mind suddenly is transported back into the past. You're thinking about your Bogha childhood. And if you can think of something on the fly, no pressure if you can't, you remember something that you found to be terrifying, and something that stuck with you as a child that to this day you think was a frightening experience. And if you want to share what that might be, that's fine. But if, you don't have any ideas, I can just kind of leave it general.
Oh God.
I know. That's super tough. It's super tough.
Seeing strangers cut off my brethren in the night. Cutting off people I classed as family under just the guise of darkness. Never seeing them again.
That's perfect. Nice job. And as you have that memory, suddenly you feel yourself I'm just gonna use words deliberately, more vulnerable to all the enemies on the top of the ship. And you also go ahead and take 16 damage.
Oh, fuck. Ooh. Can I use an armor slot for that?
Of course.
And what is
Lovely.
your threshold? Because I can also pray for you and help a little bit.
16's my severe damage threshold.
Okay, so... And it was 4... Wait, how much was it? Damage?
16.
16.
Oh, so I can reduce it by 2 and take it down to major. So I will pray. As Svetlana got hit, she's kind of praying for Bogha, and she glows slightly even brighter somehow as this prayer extends to Bogha.
Delightful.
And for here for the rest of the battle, it's like as you go to continue to fight and move throughout, it's like you can't get that memory stuck out of your head, leaving you more, susceptible to get hit, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will pass the play back to the players.
Pazu. It's Pazu's moment. Pazu is using deft maneuvers. Once per short rest, mark a stress to sprint anywhere within far range.
Mm-hmm.
Pazu is trying to get behind, run down the side of the ship to move behind Varix.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because Pazu is not gonna attack anything that looks like it's spouting flames, because Pazu is a smart cat.
Reasonable.
Yeah. And so Pazu marks a stress, and then when Pazu ends this movement within melee range of Varix and attacks immediately, gains a +1 to the attack roll. So this is 16 with hope for the attack roll.
Definitely take a hope. That hits.
Okay. And then that is, I confirmed, 2d6 for damage.
Mm-hmm.
Which is 8.
8. So Pazu begins to go slash through, but again gets caught in this smoke barrier surrounding VRX, but is able to still penetrate through, and you see some of those scratch marks emerge. And as those scratch marks emerge on VRX, you just see smoke and a little bit of flame just pops out, but then it seems to go right back in his body. But the smoke continues to kind of pour slightly out of the wounds, and so he's definitely, it hurt. And I was with hope, so I still have 4 fear, so I'm holding back.
Hilo, get him.
Keep hope alive.
I want to try a new spell that I haven't done before. It's levitation on our Torchborn.
Yeah.
And so I need to make a spellcast roll.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. A 17-20 with fear.
Thank you.
What
Not welcome.
what
so
did I just say about keeping the hope?
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that successfully. Tell me what it looks like. I mean, we have not seen the levitation yet.
Yeah, actually, so I guess Hilo does need to move forward a little bit.
That's fine.
And what he ends up doing is he kind of does a weird motion with his left hand, and you hear a rising fifth chords in a kind of a major key. It's kind of uplifting, but it doesn't end, so it doesn't conclude. So it's kind of left open, hanging. And as he does, he points with that offhand towards Virex, who would raise into the air at that point, and then slowly start moving out away from, like, over the side.
To, like, move him off the side of the ship.
Yeah, and then drop him in the ocean.
I love that so much.
So I'm trying to think. I'm like...
We broke his plan. Let's go!
No. I'm just trying to also think, like, mechanically. I'm like, all it says is that they levitate several feet off the ground.
Today, buddy.
You can't be restrained. It doesn't say anything about how to stop it, how to start it. If you can levitate them, then move them. If you can't,
it does say I can move them close range. So I can move them close distance from where they originally were. So I basically lift them up, raise them over the side, and then end the spell.
I like it. So I think this is a great spot to make a fate roll. I don't know if anybody remembers how fate roll works.
What?
But
No.
you roll a single d12, right?
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, I guess it'd probably be your hope die, I feel like, because you're hoping for this to work, right? And for you to succeed, that he doesn't, kind of like find a way to get back up.
Right. I have no idea. I don't know if he can swim. I don't know if he can fly. I'm just literally going, let's take him out of the fight for a minute or two. Let's go.
Yeah. So I think I'll set the difficulty, not impossible, but high, because I think, he's a magic person, whatever, right? Got all these things going on. He's got smoke arms and stuff like that. I'd suspect he could probably find a way to grab onto the ship, but I would be very open to seeing if it doesn't work out.
Can Sal leap out from the darkness, attempt when Virex is in the air to grab him with his tongue? Because Sal can use his tongue to grab things with finesse and attempt to whip Virex as far as he can. I would like to initiate a tag team role to help Hilo with this, if possible.
Can I join in with that with the tongue?
Well, this would be
Toko.
Go ahead.
Toko also wants to help here.
Yeah,
That's a lot of tongue action.
Heyo.
No tongue. Toko actually wants to help grab onto him as he's out of the ship to take him down.
So Toko wants to leap off of the ship and just dive bomb into the water with this guy.
Yes.
I honestly can't think of anything more Toko than that at the moment.
I mean, so there's a lot here. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's make sure we're all getting it straight as much as we can. So, he is now levitating. He is now levitated off the side of the ship, and you are about to let the spell go, right? I'll say Sal wants to help out, but I mean, Sal, you are very far away still. Am I wrong?
I am pretty far. If you don't believe that I can do that, I mean, if I can move anywhere within far range as long as there's a shadow, because I'm still in a shadow. I haven't moved.
I guess what I mean though is like this is like a heat of the moment, and I don't want to like I don't want to undermine players, but I'm like, this is all happening. People didn't know it was going to happen, and I'm kind of like, I feel like, is there a time to be like, oh, shadow step, tongue, like,
okay,
all those things.
We have other people offering to help too, so I am happy to sit this one out.
Yeah, I love the idea, but I feel like since this is just happening in real time, if I'm going to treat it like this is an actual battle, I feel like that's probably wouldn't be possible, or, and then we have Bogha.
Just for flair, Svetlana has her shield kind of pointed up for Toko to jump off of.
Oh, so like jump on the axe and then jump off.
On the shield, yeah. So it's like a flat surface for him to get a little bit more height.
Yeah. And Toko has deft maneuvers and natural climber feature.
Yeah.
so he can get there. He can close the distance.
Yeah. No. I am fully with that. So I'm trying to think about mechanically what we would want that to also look like, and I would like it to also be awesome. Because I mean, we're getting closer to, shore, but we still had, probably like a day left. So we are, I mean, if you leap into the water, I mean, I gotta say, you are, I mean, can you swim?
I don't know.
Well, only one way to find out, huh?
And this is like a multi-story.
Maybe that's the fate roll.
There is a multi-story ship, right? So it's like, I don't know that you're going to be able to get back on. Like,
I understand the risk.
Okay.
I see Svetlana being hurt left, right, and center. I can't.
Okay.
Toko cannot live with that.
Right. So let's go ahead and God, I'm trying to think of how to do it. It's fine. Everything.
So let me make it easy for you, right? Like, let's see if Toko can close the distance first. So
right.
Once per rest, mark a stress to sprint anywhere within a far range without making an agility roll to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna mark a stress.
Yeah.
If you end this movement within melee range of an adversary and immediately make an attack against them, gain a +1 bonus to the attack roll. So that's a +1 bonus. If I want to attack.
Yes.
And we have Natural Climber. I have advantage on agility rolls that involve balancing and climbing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one makes the other a moot point here.
Yes. I honestly feel like there's kind of like a couple ways we could go about it. I could literally say like, you will not survive this. You will take him down with you. And, if you want to go out in a blaze of glory, that just means it's a critical success. You go and you're dead. But then you just tell us how it looks. We could also roll some dice and, see how that kind of like works. Or we can make it, like a fate roll where, we kind of maybe set it, fairly high to see if you quite connect with him, to either take him down or survive. I'm open to all the options here. I don't know if I'm giving too many or not, but we could say a hope die to see if you kind of shove him off, but maybe somehow get caught and still stay with the ship, or a fate roll to see if you just go down with him.
Yeah. Or if Svetlana can reach far enough out once you've connected with him and catch you.
I mean, yeah, we do have people right over there. I mean, it's it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility, especially with Toko running
flying
there.
Leap by a large simian seems like it would be propelling them away from the ship pretty far.
That's the idea. And I want to make sure this happens. If this is how I go.
Sal is going to, if you will allow, shadow step into Svetlana's shadow again. And as Toko pushes Virex further off, grab Toko with his tongue to try to pull him back.
Nice. Okay, so I like that. So let's go ahead and let's go back to, because I guess who started this whole thing? It was Hilo.
That was Hilo, yeah. So what's Hilo rolling,
Hilo.
I guess, is the first question.
I'm kind of like, I kind of want to start there. So let's see if... to
be fair, Hilo did already roll. He rolled a 20 to lift and move him.
Levitate. Yeah, to levitate. So that's definitely happening. Let's go ahead and let's, I think really then it'd be Toko. I guess I want to give Toko the option. So I would say if you would like to guarantee this, then I would say you can 100% go out in a blaze of glory. And as you guys both go down, you are going to take him with you. And, you will not make it. if you would like to have a very good chance, then certainly we could do a roll for it.
That's what I want to do. And as Sal tries to grab onto me, if I may play this a little bit. So Toko jumps up. He jumps up. He grabs onto Svetlana's axe, which is perfectly positioned. He grabs onto the side of the opening on the ship, and as Sal tries to whip and hold Toko, he grabs onto his pouch. So Sal pulls Toko's pouch out of him as Toko jumps out to grab the big bad evil guy.
Toko,
down into the water.
Svetlana, realizing the weight of what she has helped with and what she has done, her face is like crestfallen as she cries out for Toko.
So as Svetlana cries out, after, Toko, and Toko leaps over the side of the ship, grabbing onto Virex, you see really this look of surprise and shock in his face that you could not possibly imagine. And as soon as Toko connects with them, you begin to see him fall further off the side of the ship. And Toko, kind of screaming, in fury, as he makes that connection, Virex begins to shout, but I am Scorchborn. And that you see him, the cloud around him erupt, not just in smoke, but in flames. And it surrounds him as well as Toko. And then Toko's shouts begin to go, not just from fury, but also into pain. But he does not let go as Toko and Virex quickly start to descend and fall off the side of the ship. And the screaming of fury and pain of Toko continue. As Virex, you hear words like, core and core's light, and, we will get you. And then suddenly there's just silence other than a huge splash in the water. And then you hear nothing else.
Toko, why did he do that?
As what happens to the other creatures? Are they still around?
Are they independent of their summoner? I was going to ask this as well.
As you look around the ship, you suddenly see one fade away. There's only one left on the ship. And then you look over, it looks at you. It starts to kind of like gather fire in one of its hands, and then starts to rush in your direction. Again, hearing that whoomph, 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 whoomph of these like swirling kind of like living flames. And then it goes directly up to Yriel, and you see just as it's about to shove its flame-filled hand into Yriel's chest, it goes directly through. Yriel feels no pain, only warmth. And it fades away.
As all of this happens, and Sal pulls Toko's pouch, it falls to the ground with like a huge impact, which makes it open. And you see come out of that pouch some loose pages of Toko's journal.
Sal, as the one who caught it, he would be looking in the journal, and the first thing he would see is is some drawings. And on the second page, he kind of like, Sal knows the water. Sal grew up on the water, and he knows, seeing Toko go off the edge, that that is like, I think Sal doesn't have any hope in that moment that there is any finding Toko. And so he starts looking through the book, and he notices the first page has a bunch of different words written and then crossed out. So the first page says like chef, and then it's crossed out. Animal juggler, and it's crossed out. Storyteller, crossed out. Healer, crossed out. And then below that, it says friend. And above the word friend, it has a drawing of the whole party. And friend is not crossed out. So Sal keeps looking, and finds an entry. It says, "Today I decided to become a chef. Found an old recipe for something called, quote, bread, tucked inside a discarded cookbook. Looked easy enough. Flour, water, yeast, mix it, let it rise, bake it. Simple, right? Wrong.
First problem, flour makes a lot of dust. And when you have fur, dust is your mortal enemy. I sneezed so hard the mixing bowl flew across the room. Second problem, apparently let it rise doesn't mean poke it every 5 minutes. Third problem, I have no idea why it turned purple. Maybe my fur rubbed off on it. Maybe the yeast gave up and decided to dye itself in protest. I still baked it. I mean, it looked like bread, smelled like bread, but when I bit into it, let's just say I'm adding digestive pain to my growing list of life experiences. Chef life is not for me. Next profession? Something that doesn't involve food, or flour, or sneezing. Toko. Entry number 53. Today, I thought I'd try my hand at entertaining people. I mean, how hard can juggling be? It's just throwing stuff and catching it, right? Easy for someone with opposable toes. Mistake number 1. Using squirrels. Mistake number 2. Not asking the squirrels for permission. Mistake number 3. Thinking I could juggle. I started with 3 squirrels and a rabbit. The rabbit just looked at me like I'd insulted its entire family. But the squirrels, they panicked. One jumped into my head, the other 2 scattered, and now there's an angry villager offering a reward for the return of his prized rodent. To top it off, the rabbit bit my hand and ran off with my only piece of bread. It wasn't even good bread. Clearly, juggling is not my calling. P.S. Stick to juggling not alive things. P.P.S. Avoid towns with squirrel-loving villagers for a while. Toko. Entry 61. Tried storytelling today. Thought I could make some coins spinning tales of adventure and heroism. You know, embellish my life a little bit, make the purple fur sound mystical instead of tragic. Stood up on a stool in the tavern, cleared my throat, and started my grand tale. Got about 3 sentences in before I forgot what came next. Improvised a little, then a lot. Ended up making monkey noises to fill the awkward silence. The crowd was unkind. The child threw a potato at me. Hard. Still got a lump on my head. Storytelling is a bust. Adding public speaking to my list of things to avoid. I'm beginning to suspect my true talent is not being talented. Toko. Entry 89. Arrived in Cogsburg. Forgot how noisy it was. Everything clanks, whistles, or chugs like it's alive. I tried to blend in, but you know how hard it is to blend in when you're purple? It's like trying to sneak past a rooster while dressed as a fox. It's impossible. I overheard whispers about a plot. Something tied to Skyland and the 100-year celebration. Sounds big. Sounds important. Sounds like trouble. My kind of thing. I did manage to get a sausage roll from a vendor. Looked good. Smelled better, but tasted questionable. The vendor said it was aged to perfection. Pretty sure he meant it was older than me. My stomach hasn't stopped making noises since. Onward to Skyland. With any luck, they'll have fresher food. Toko. Entry 94. Skyland is beautiful. The kind of town you see in paintings and think, no way does it actually look like that. But it does. Everything is decorated for the 100-year celebration. Banners, lanterns, even the pigs have ribbons tied around their necks. The town smells like pastries and rain. It's nice. Calming even. Makes me wish I could stop and enjoy it, but I've got work to do. I followed some rumors to the old dungeon and the outskirts of the town. People say it's abandoned, but I saw guards patrolling the entrance. Something's definitely going on in there. Time to investigate. Toko. Entry 95. The guards here are, well, let's just say they're not sending their best. One of them was mid-yawn when I knocked them out. Another tripped right into my sword trying to run away. Makes you wonder what they're guarding that's so important. I was about to pull my sword off of the last one when the door swung open. Standing there was a group of adventurers, real ones. They looked at me, I looked at them, and for a moment, nobody said anything. Then they all welcomed me into their group. I think I'll stick with them for a bit. They seem trustworthy. In fact, they don't even seem to mind that I'm around. They just seem happy I'm here. No one's ever been happy I'm around before. Toko. Entry 96. Turns out I'm not meant to be a healer. This realization came to me after a fight with some guards. They weren't the best fighters, but there were a few of them, and the big frog, Bogha, got hurt. Now, Bogha was slumped over after the fight, clutching her side. It was weird seeing her like that. Kinda made my chest ache, so I figured, Toko, this is your chance to help. I dug into my pouch and pulled out some medicinal herbs I'd been collecting. I chewed them into a paste because that's what healers do, right? Side note, some of those herbs definitely taste like sadness. Then I spread the paste on Bogha's face wound. She didn't stop me. Probably because she couldn't reach me with her tongue. But still, I thought I was doing great until Bogha made a noise. Not a ribbit, not a croak. It was... how do I describe it? Imagine a bag of rocks being dropped into a puddle. Now, add the sound of a door creaking open during a thunderstorm, and then throw in some wet, squelching for good measure. The others said I did a good job, but the looks on their faces told a different story. They're never going to let me near their wounds, and honestly, I don't blame them. Healer life isn't for me. Bogha, though? I think she likes me more now. Either that, or she's waiting for the right moment to eat me. Hard to tell with frogs. Toko. Entry 97. Something amazing happened. We all sat around a campfire, including Bogha, who I'm now 87% sure doesn't want to eat me. We had food. They called it potatoes. Crispy, golden wedges of pure happiness, and I swear they might be the best thing I've ever tasted. We ate them around the campfire, passing the bowl back and forth, like it was the most valuable treasure in the world. I may have taken a few extra ones when no one was looking. As we sat there laughing and joking, it hit me. This is what life is supposed to feel like. I'm not just adventuring with these people, they're friends. Real friends. The kind who laugh at your bad jokes, don't care that you're purple, and still share their food even when you eat more than your share. It's strange to think where I started. Trapped in that dreadful tower, tortured by that awful wizard. He made me believe I was nothing, a broken thing, a failed experiment. But now, sitting with these wonderful, ridiculous people, I feel I'm something. No, scratch that. I'm someone, and my talent is to be their friend. Everything is good now. Better than good. It's fried potato wedges kind of good. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Toko.
Yriel is, a pretty well-traveled, unattached person. She's doesn't make a lot of connections. She's stunned and more emotional than she expected to be. And fried potatoes kind of good is a phrase that she will take with her to her death.
And Sal he's quiet for a minute, and when he finishes reading, he's got really big eyes, and I mean, he's a ribbit, so he's typically wet anyway, but you notice that his eyes are a little more moist than you think you're used to them being. And he looks to all of you, and then he looks out to the ocean, and he takes Toko's journal and puts it in his pack.
Svetlana's knees will hit the floor of the deck, and as she just kind of mumbles to herself, why, Toko? You were a true friend, but true friends wouldn't do this. They wouldn't take themselves away. I needed him. I needed you, Toko. As tears are just like falling down her face and landing on the deck.
And as everybody mourns, and tries to deal with what just happened, some staggered and surprised. The sun set over the Ashen Crown as, the journal was read out loud. Darkness settles on the ship, just as it has settled on the party. You see Captain Dothmere run over towards the aftermath of this battle. You see him look around. He sees one of the soldiers who was essentially turned to ash one of the sailors who was essentially turned to ash from the very beginning of the fight. And, then he looks up at everybody else, seeing them, disaffected faces, right? Looking, kind of staring, some of them blankly, I'd imagine, right? Clearly, reading the room as it is. And he turns towards, the group and opens it up and says, what happened? How did you do this? Who did this?
Sal is going to march up to Captain Dothmere, and he's going to hold his hand out like he's pointing, but he's not pointing. And as he's doing that, Sal's returning blade is going to snap into his hand, and the blade is just going to be like mere millimeters away from Captain Dothmere's face. And Sal's going to look up at him with kind of like shining eyes and say, Virex, what? Why? And then Sal's just going to kind of collapse, and the blade is going to go back into its place on his belt. And Sal's just going to say, I don't understand. I should have caught him. I should have been able to pull him back. What? Why did you let these people on your ship?
That's the question Hilo's been wondering.
Bogha's gonna come up behind Sal and just put her hand on his shoulder, like in a comforting manner, and say to the captain, one of your passengers just caused the death of our friend.
And Sal's gonna kind of look up at Bogha with those shining eyes and say, passengers? Virex was on the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And as he says that, he will look back at Dothmere.
Dothmir pauses for, a long moment, long enough to where you wonder if he has anything to say and what it would be. You don't know him very well, but then as he begins to speak, the impression he's trying to give is that he likes to think before he speaks. And he kind of brings his head down, he rubs his eyes, says, I should have listened to Jasper. Jasper said that one couldn't be trusted, but I never saw it. I couldn't see what he was telling me. I was gonna say he ever since that incident, the jagged knife, I was gonna say I've been worried about this day, but still somehow I was blind to it. So that's why I need to listen to the people around me. I'll say who was your friend? How did he die? What happened?
It's my fault. It's my fault he's dead. I didn't know he wouldn't come back.
You see Dothmir turn towards Svetlana, and although he seems rather stoic now, you can, kind of see his eyes immediately begin to get misty, and he sees the pain that she is in. He begins to walk over towards her. Are you kind of like hunched over right now? Or like standing? Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's like prostrate on the floor.
Yeah,
like
yeah. he's pretty tall too, and so you see him get down on one knee, and he looks at her and tries to make eye contact, and just says, whatever it is, you didn't do this.
He jumped off of my shield.
Yriel moves in to agree. She wants to bring the captain up to speed with what they found, how the fight broke out, and let him know what the situation was. But as she's conveying this, she also turns to Svetlana and said, this is not your fault. You didn't do this. You can't take Toko's choice from him. He did that to save you and save all of us.
But I didn't need saving. He didn't know how strong that I am. Why didn't he trust me?
Dothmir again kind of pauses for a long moment and then looks over towards Svetlana and says, I don't know any of you that well. I don't know Toko that well. But with what I did see, with what you're saying, I would say trust in him that he made the right choice. That's what he would want, I think.
Yes, I will honor his choice, and I will pray for him that Kor will take him to a great beyond. But for now, all I feel is the darkness of his absence, and I don't know how long it will take for me to feel the light again.
You see Captain Dothmir sort of, gesture to other folks on the crew, and you see him speaking with a deep respect and, but an importance of, cleaning up, unfortunately, what is on the deck, such as the ashes, remaining, and go to clear those off the deck. And he looks over towards everybody, the party, right? And he makes, eye contact with each individual, looking at, Hilo, which Hilo can't blink, right? Just his eyes kind of like open all the time, seeing, Sal and the trouble and difficulty that he's having, knowing that Dothmir has also had plenty of loss over his life, and that, continues to look from person to person. And what he says is that you all have done me and my crew a great service today, and I have failed you for allowing that man on my ship. But one thing that I always do is aim to do better. And I hope you know that you always have a friend in me, and that you will always be welcome on the Ashen Crown, no matter where it goes. And if there's anything that I can do, I am here for it.
Sal is going to kind of slowly work his way around to all of the party and attempt to usher them below, like down the stairs. And I think what I would like to happen, if this is a possibility, is I would like for our party to be able to kind of sit at a table in the galley, and each of us kind of, I mean, I guess people can choose not to, but each of us have some of that fish that Toko caught. And I don't know. Sal's just going to kind of, he's angry and he's sad, but he also realizes that we've been through a lot, and sometimes what you need in those moments is a meal. And so he's going to kind of, go up to everybody individually. Yriel, I think we should, and he's going to kind of gesture her down the stairs, and then Hilo, I think we should probably go somewhere else and just slowly try to move each person down below decks to the galley to see if we can.
So you're kind of sharing this out loud with everybody?
Yeah, like he'll it's a very like individual personal thing that he'll do. So he'll kind of walk up to Yriel and say, like, do you mind if we maybe go down to the galley and just sit together? And then he'll kind of do the same thing to Hilo and to Bogha, and then last I think he would go to Svetlana, and he doesn't really know what to say to Svetlana, but he would attempt to just kind of ask her, would you come with? I think we are not us without you.
Svetlana almost comedically kind of collapses into Sal's arms, this, huge hulking creature, kind of relying on the strength of a tiny ribbit, as she lets him kind of shoulder some of the weight as they journey to the galley together.
When everybody gets down there, I would just kind of picture Sal kind of positioning everybody at a table. Like he is attempting to get everybody sitting at the same table together, and just, he doesn't really know what to do, but he doesn't feel right not doing anything. And he would just kind of position everyone at the table, and then after he got people seated, he would go and talk in low voices with the chef, and then sit back down with them.
You see Dothmir, by the way, just kind of following you guys down, speaking with the chef and pointing kind of at the fish, and then pointing over at you guys, sort of communicating that these are also coming directly from him.
Yep.
As everybody sits down, kind of moving in close together, Yriel shares that in her community, her extended family, when they are mourning the loss of somebody that they care about, they gather together, share food, share stories, of the loved one that they've lost, because it brings back the good memories to sort of take away the intensity of the loss feeling, and so she invites people to share stories and thoughts about Toko. I cannot believe that Samia brought a bucket of water to a fight.
Toko. It's strange because I've always considered myself the altruistic person who would die for her friends. And I never understood really how that makes your friends feel. That you would die for them. And now I think I understand. It's hard to let somebody else shoulder something for you. But we have to see it from his point of view, you know? He really did die doing something he loved for people he loved. And is there really a better way to leave this world? I guess I am just called back to that. And I let myself see it from his perspective. And that eases the pain a little bit.
Sal is probably going to be pretty quiet in these moments because of the whole party. I think Sal probably knows Toko the least. They just met when Maz disappeared. You know, Sal had been around the party for a lot longer, but kind of in the shadows, the way, you know, not seen, the way Sal lives a lot of his life. And I don't know, he's just going to kind of look to people to see what stories they have. And like, I think for Sal, one of the hardest things is he doesn't really, he feels like he failed a person he never really got to know. And so he's going to be looking to each of you in turn and hoping that you will share the pieces of Toko that you have with him, because he feels like he didn't get very much.
Do you guys remember the time that Toko woke up that big beastly creature in the dungeon because he wanted to loot? He was such a loot goblin. He reminds me of Maz in that way, you know?
And when you say loot goblin, Sal makes eye contact with Yriel.
That is a stereotype.
Sorry, Yriel. Not my intention. He was a loot monkey.
Loot monkey, yes, indeed.
I think Sal would maybe look with hopeful eyes to Hilo. Sal hasn't been around for very long, but knows that if anybody is the wordsmith in this situation, Sal knows that it's Hilo, and which is kind of, I don't know. He's just grasping at anything. Really, he is looking for any sort of hope in this horrible moment.
As the chef suddenly kind of like walks up and you see him sort of pause because he had spoken to Captain Dothmere, and you know he can read a room, and he's like looking and he sees these people, you know, they are not in a good space, but he's just got like kind of like an armful of different glasses, and he starts to distribute them, you know, kind of hanging his head down, says, "Compliments of our captain," with his, you know, trying to do an accent, but you can tell it's not really a real accent, but he still somehow thinks it makes him a better chef. And say, "The finest wine that we've got on the ship." I was gonna say, compliments of, you know, the Ashen Crown. And then he kind of, you know, sees himself out, and as he's walking away and says, you know, and food, the food will be served soon. And he walks off.
Hilo has actually been uncharacteristically quiet. There hasn't been a single quip or pun since Toko went overboard. In fact, he's actually not. He wasn't even looking at the group, so he kind of starts up as he hears his name, because he'd been messing around with that arm of his, and he's like pauses, looks a little guiltily at Sal, and says, "I just remember how brave he was when we fought that wizard in the dungeon who'd apparently been torturing Toko for some time, and still he fought, and he did so much in the moment that I don't think anyone else could. He will be missed." And as he says that, he sets down the little cylinder on the table that he was playing with and flipping around in his hand. And reaches out instead to one of the cups and raises his glass in a toast. And tries very weakly at this point to say, he always did tend to go overboard with his attacks, and raises the glass. Doesn't take a drink, but he raises it in a toast.
Yriel raises her glass. We all mourn our own ways.
Sal would raise his glass, and at the same time, he is going to summon the returning blade to his hand and slam it into the tabletop. And he's going to say, "And whenever we figure out what's going on with Maz, that wizard is next."
Agreed.
Kick that Maz in the shins when we find her.
Bogha raises her glass and says, in my culture, we have a little a motto, we say, when we lose someone. Let this not be goodbye. Let this be an interlude in the great play of life. You will all see Toko again. Maybe not as he was, but you will. You will hear him on the breeze. In the trees and the grapevines will his presence be felt. And Bogha raises a glass higher. To Toko.
To Toko.
To Toko.
To Toko.
Hilo, I'm going to need a to Toko from you, or this is going to be a very uncomfortable moment in the audio recording.
Hilo looks around. He's like, "Wait, we're doing this again?" Like, it looks around like we are. And then he realizes apparently the convention is every time that's said, you say it again, but it like takes him a really long, uncomfortable pausing moment to do that, and goes to Toko questioningly, like is he doing it right?
And as everybody raises their glasses as if on cue, the chef comes out along with, an additional sailor helping out with just plates upon plates of the most beautiful, gorgeous fish that you've seen in your entire life. It smells succulent and perfectly cooked, just browned on the outside edges with a glaze. You're not even sure what it is, but it smells simultaneously of something slightly sweet, savory, and just seems absolutely wonderfully done. And they go to place it all in front of everybody. Everybody has it's a nice size because obviously this was a gigantic fish caught with a gigantic rod, and I mean it was just absolutely hugely impressive. Jaws dropped, and then the fish, and
The fish.
So as
Right.
they lay that out, then they walk on back towards the kitchen, and
Where they're gonna pick up fried potatoes, I hope.
maybe some of you noticed that there was an empty spot in front of Svetlana as though she was left out. But then you go ahead and you see somebody else kind of run out of the kitchen. And then all of a sudden you see Elias Vane run out, and he's got a plate of fried potatoes held up in hand. And then you see a little barnacle on his other shoulder. And he goes and turns towards the barnacle and is like, I know these smell so good. It's like the best potatoes I've ever smelt. And then he hands them, puts them over in front of Svetlana. And then he goes, we'll talk more about this later, as he turns towards the barnacle on his shoulder. And then he runs off kind of silent and, back towards the kitchen.
Svetlana, upon seeing that, they made her special meal, she just bursts out into tears again. She's having a time. And the thoughtfulness of the crew, knowing that she does not eat meat, it rocks her again, the friendships that she's made.
And as the food smells wonderfully, you see that there's fewer crew down the quarters as the evening has turned into night. It's starting to get a bit later. You see only one table left of a couple people playing cards, and the galley is more or less yours to enjoy, and to enjoy the meal and the company of the friends we still have and the friends that we remember.
Can Sal reach into his bag and pull out he received a jagged knife blade. Is that correct?
A jagged knife?
Yes, correct. I was trying to avoid saying it that way, but that is definitely correct.
I think that's the best way to say it.
Okay. Jagged knife squared. Can he reach into it and look at it? See if there's anything that he can learn about it? Is there anything special about this blade? He's not really, it's all been a whirlwind since he found it. He found it. They followed the cloaked figure. All of the action just happened. Can he he investigate it and see if there's anything to learn about it?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking right at this thing. There is nothing happening around you. You can very much look at it. Nobody needs to roll for that. You're in a bit of a daze from the strong, kind of like feelings, but you're also well, I'd imagine, practiced at these things. The blade itself is the shape of the jagged knife, right? The symbol. So it is not your typical blade, and that's what really is reminiscent of the jagged knife. However, so you start from the top of the blade, kind of working its way down, the light hitting it, the firelight kind of like from some of the candles around the table shimmering and shining and glinting towards the table. And then as you kind of examine it, hold it up, you have it laid across your hands, and then you start to rotate it around. And so as the light hits the blade, it refracts off in different directions. And then as you rotate it, suddenly a bit of red light seems to emanate off the blade. And at first you're just kind of caught like, what is that? And then you realize it's the candlelight hitting a beautiful stone towards the bottom that is a deep, dark red hue.
Can I figure out anything about the red stone?
As you look further at the red stone, it's not, warm to the touch or anything like that, but as best you can tell to your eye, it is almost as though it looks like there are flames inside of it.
Sal would like to pull out his returning blade, which he keeps incredibly sharp, and along the handle of the blade, like not going for the red jewel or anything like that, but along the handle of the blade, he would like to carve into it with his returning blade Toko's Vengeance. And he is, from now on, going to call this blade Toko's Vengeance. And it will be, it doesn't have to be the official name or anything like that, but he is just giving it a name himself.
Mm-hmm. As you carve it into the blade, as you finish the word Toko, the gem at the bottom suddenly emits a glow and then fades away. And then you finish with, vengeance. Nothing happens after that.
Okay. I think he would add it to one of his secondary weapon.
Yeah. So I can totally do that.
Yriel was curious about what Sal was doing down there at the other end of the table, and kind of moved around, but didn't crowd or anything. Just kind of looking to see what was happening. And upon seeing the name etched on the blade, she says, "We'll find that wizard."
And Sal says, "And I will put this blade into him." And you're used to seeing Sal very, I think, upbeat or maybe lighthearted, but I think something has hardened in him in this moment, and he goes back to eating his fish.
The last remaining crew members you see start to work their way out of the cabin. Seems like they've finished their game that they were playing. You heard them kind of laughing with each other, joking, having fun and the like. And you guys are now the only ones remaining in the galley.
Svetlana tends to retreat inwards when she's really feeling emotional. So the others might see her a little closed off, a little bit disassociated, maybe. And once she's finished her potatoes, she kind of stands up just very slowly and just begins walking down towards where their beds are.
And as Svetlana begins to walk off, you hear the somewhat familiar crash of thunder outside of the ship. You see a flash of lightning just in the lead up to the battle. But now it is not just very close, but directly upon us. And Svetlana begins to, as she's walking out of the galley, you see her shadow, kind of emphasized as the lightning flashes outside of the ship. And then you hear rain begin to pour outside, and you hear waves begin to crash against the side of the ship. And the ocean is increasingly getting rougher and rockier. And just as the party tries to, kind of make sense of what happened with Toko, the ship is now very much entering the midst of a storm.
Bogha's gonna excuse herself from the table, and she's gonna just like, I need to get some air. She's gonna go up topside. Just kind of, for the first time in a while, pull the hood of her cloak down and just feel the rain on her skin. Because it has been a while since she's been properly, like, she's feeling homesick. Like, spent an awful lot of time out of water and away from safe bodies of water. Just needs to feel a little familiarity.
All right. So, in Svetlana, you're going down towards the sleepy area.
Yes.
And then, so Bogha moves up towards the upper decks with the rain pouring down, the thunder crashing. You see, very few sailors up there at the top, essentially just trying to do their duties as they need to, even in this, kind of stormy weather. You see them grabbing onto ropes and different things, and Bogha can openly see that the sails are somewhat struggling, and that the storm, Bogha being in the water a lot, is increasingly a rough one. Suddenly the ship hits a large wave and lurches, and just kind of for those who haven't been on a boat, like if you hit a large wave, it's like it rises way high up into the air as it rides it, and then as it comes back down, it's just going to crash back down, and it might drop 5 or 10 feet, suddenly feeling like that if you've ever been on like a roller coaster or something, like your stomach is kind of like getting butterflies from dropping down so rapidly, and you kind of see everything on the ship, for those in the galley, like clink 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 clink, and things shake around. Svetlana is attempting to settle, it looks like, into the cargo hold of the ship, and certainly can kick it to Svetlana with how she deals with the sudden wave.
She's not really super present, so she kind of didn't even really realize it was storming. Didn't even acknowledge the shaking of the ship, and so when it crashes, she may just fall to the floor and stay there. She doesn't even feel like she has the energy to stand up again, as she's just next to her cot in the area where their room was the night before. She just kind of sits there, kind of head in her hands, praying, thinking, meditative, but also slightly just not really present.
Sal would kind of, he's lost a little focus on where people are, and who is where, but you would hear the rain hitting the deck above him, and he would make his way up the stairs, and seeing Bogha there, kind of nod at Bogha, and then just stand near her, letting the rain wash over him. He's not really, I guess, engaging with Bogha at all. He's watching the spot where Toko went over the edge, and just thinking.
Bogha is just gonna put her hand on his back, just in like a reassuring way.
When she does that, he almost looks a little bit startled. He was so deep inside of himself that he didn't. I mean, he knew he was standing by a friend, but it still kind of startled him a little bit.
Are you accustomed to losing people?
Don't. Loss is a part of life in the endless forest, and it doesn't get any easier any of the times that it happens. I think that I don't know that it's ever been my fault before. If I was just a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, I don't know that we would have been having happy drinks instead of the sad ones. Sal slumps a little bit. Says, I wish that there was. I wish I had done something different. It could have been. It didn't. And he just kind of stops trying to verbalize what he's feeling and just stands there with the rain.
You see one of the sailors begin to trepidatiously approach Sal and Bogha. At first, you kind of wonder, probably more like, why is this person coming up? It seems like a rather intimate moment. And then as they walk through the rain and approach, suddenly you recognize this person. The person's holding a fishing rod. They take it. They hand it off. And he says, I want you guys to have this. I'll remember that as one of the best moments of my life. And I only knew him for just a brief moment.
Bogha's taken aback.
So then he hands the fishing rod open, waiting for it, Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not sure I can take this.
Sal would take it and look at it and then hand it back. Say, well, I think Toko would want you to catch more fish to feed the people on this ship. We're not on the ocean often. We can't keep the pieces of him that aren't ours, and this piece is yours. And Sal would hand the fishing rod back.
Jed, reluctantly sort of takes it. And then he looks up. And he says, I thought this rod was too big, but it's actually just the right size for me. And Toko showed me that. He kind of, with everyone's acceptance, pats him on the back.
Then you will be doing Toko an honor by keeping this, by using it in his memory. You will keep him alive in a way. Let his joy guide your rod true. Just a side note. I can't keep going with that.
You're cracking up over here.
I'm sorry. Jed takes the rod and he looks at the two of them and you're right. And you see him look at the rod. He kind of examines it and runs his hand along. No.
What?
He looks over the rod and then, checks out the lore. He sees it, sees that it's ready to go. Moment. And then, he takes it and he's like, this time of night's actually a great time for trolling. And I'm going to go cast it out right now. And he gives him a nod. And then you see him, walk off towards the back of the boat where they had originally done the fishing, before.
The best time to go fishing is during a storm.
Yeah, it's actually that is really a thing. They're really a thing. There's people who do that. So yeah, in the middle of a storm.
Yeah.
Also, these guys, you figure they're on the ocean all the time. I mean, if he's not alarmed, this may not be too crazy of a storm that they've seen on a very large, ship.
I think Sal would just continue staring at the spot where Toko went over.
I think Svetlana will eventually cry herself to sleep, and will just remain slumped on the floor when she sleeps.
As Svetlana, falls asleep, certainly stop me. This doesn't feel appropriate, but what are her dreams like?
Not very restful. I think for her, she replays the moment over and over again in her head and in different ways, trying to think of what she could have done differently. If she could have reached him in time to save him, or if she hadn't given him the boost up with her shield. Just playing it over and over again, kind of frantically in her mind.
And then, again, stop me if I'm wrong, but then I would, looking at the last page of Toko's journal, hopefully a line pops in from the last page of Toko's journal that Svetlana heard, read, by Sal, but more in Toko's voice of, "No, scratch that. I'm someone, and my talent is to be their friend." And hopefully that sticks in the end or part of one of the dreams as well.
She hears that a little bit in Kor's voice, kind of comforting her, and reminding her that this isn't truly the end for Toko.
And then right after that, the final line she hears is, "And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything."
I think Sal would wait until he was alone on the top of the deck. And then he would pull out his forgery tools. And he would draw something on the side of the boat where Toko went over. But he was alone, so nobody would know what it was yet.
Bogha is, well, I suppose has ventured back downstairs to check on Yriel.
Yriel and Pazu are not really water people. Large bodies of water. We're on this ship because we had to go somewhere, but the storm is distressing. The occasional, if you'll forgive me for using the word, levitation as the waves crash. We're not a fan of any of that. So Yriel's just kind of hanging out, thinking about, having some more drinks to numb the mind and not think about the big hollow floating log in the storm. But Svetlana probably shouldn't be alone. If you want to check on her, I think she went down to the cabin.
I think that's a good idea. Try rum. I hear that helps with seasickness.
Rum, noted.
And Bogha is just gonna waddle out the room with a, still dripping wet from being outside. Kind of a wet slap of her feet.
Would you like me to move Bogha to the sleepy area?
Yeah. Bogha's gonna she's gonna poke her head into the sleeping core and look around for Yriel, expecting to see her. Not Yriel, Svetlana, expecting to see her on one of the bunks.
You don't see her in any of the bunks, but you do see a dark mass slumped in the corner near a window.
Who's gonna just say, "Oh dear," and she's gonna just wander up and double check if it is Svetlana. Just and then having realized that yes, this is indeed her friend, she's gonna just sit next to her and actually take her cloak off and put it over the top of her as like a kind of weighted blanket type thing.
You see a little bit of the tension in Svetlana's shoulders kind of melt away. She's still asleep, but she feels your presence.
And that's Bogha's just gonna take her rest there, sitting next to Svetlana, so she's not alone. Because Bogha knows how hard it is being alone and grieving.
Sal would like to, on the way down to the cabin, because the grief at this point has given way to exhaustion. He would like to stop in the galley and see if he can find a big bag of rice or something like that, like a big burlap bag of rice that he could take down. Or it could be potatoes, just a big heavy bag of something.
The chef's still there, just cleaning up. You go ahead and ask the chef for that. The chef says, oui, the captain said anything that you would like. And you see him run off towards the one corner of the kitchen, and he comes back over the counter and just like slaps like a big old bag of rice right on over.
Sal's not very strong, so he pulls it from the counter, and it kind of hits the ground really hard, and he looks up and just kind of says, sorry, and then slowly drags it out of the galley and down the stairs like boom, 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 all the way down.
Doom, doom.
Yeah.
To the sleepy area.
So Sal is going to position outside of the door, and the bag of rice is going to be down the hallway. So he's right outside the door to our quarters, and the bag of rice is down the hallway. And he is going to spend part of the evening just attempting to grab it and pull it with his tongue.
So he's gonna grab the rice with his tongue and drag it.
He's
practicing.
He has failed, and he will not let it happen again. So he's just going to grab it, pull it towards him, and then he's going to kind of shuffle down the hallway, put it back in place, do it again. And it's going to be pretty quiet, but he's very determined. And then when the exhaustion gives way to just complete, he can no longer stand up, he would go into the cabin, and he would look at one of the hammocks and remember stuffing the hammock in his satchel, and remember Toko doing the same thing. And Sal would lay down on the floor and sleep.
And I don't want to pry, but is Yriel still drinking?
Yeah, Yriel probably hang out here until I don't want to say she passes out, because I don't mean like drunk into a stupor, but until she's exhausted and will the storm settle down so that we get rest?
The waves come and go. You haven't had a big wave recently, but it is still pouring down rain outside.
Okay. If the bigger waves settle down somewhat, then I think she would eventually also make her way to the cabin to sleep.
I will slide you on over.
Hilo just stays at the table. Like, as everyone else wanders off, and he stays there at the table, and as most everyone had left, he starts he's getting out his little book, and he's making a whole bunch of notes, basically to memorialize the version of Toko's sacrifice while it's still fresh in his mind, so that he doesn't forget it later. And while the pain is still fresh, to be honest. And every so often, he mutters a little bit under his breath, but Clanks don't do anything terribly quietly, muttering about why he didn't want to be a guardian in the first place. Losing people sucks, and just basically furiously writing through the night instead of sleeping.
So it sounds like rest is being found by the majority of the party. You very clearly, lights are out as it is, right? Or torches are put out throughout the sleeping area, the crew quarters of the ship. Hilo sits alone in the galley. Nobody there. All the candles are out except for one at his table. As he continues to write, he does so with very little light outside. And the rest of the party begins to find some rest as the night goes on. The rest is somewhat recuperative, but the ship rocks here and there. No major waves come by, but the rain persists throughout the entire evening. And is it fair to say Hilo is going to be writing for the rest of the night?
Yeah,
correct?
He won't be doing any real resting at this point.
Then the rest of the party continues to try to sleep through the night. And as the sun begins to eventually merge over the ocean, it just peeks out over through the window near where Hilo is, and a beam of light shoots out over the table where Hilo is sitting. And as he looks up, he sees the rain begin to stop. And calmer skies appear to be ahead.